Anywho,
pretty good sense for this type of thing now.
You do, Geordie. You have great senses, I must say.
Yeah.
Like, you can smell, you can taste stuff. You're sensible. You're a very sensible young man, Geordie.
Am I?
Has anyone ever said that to you?
Nope.
Okay.
You know who we used to have? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just like...
Do you remember the DuckTales theme song?
Yeah, of course. It's a great theme song.
Is it?
One of the best, yeah.
Life is like a hurricane in Duckburg.
Anywho, how are you doing today, Geordie? Pretty good, eh? That's good. Well, that was sincere, wasn't it? Yeah, Geordie, I just want to say, you know, it is an absolute pleasure doing this with you, my friend. It is.
Oh.
I kind of realized that when I was doing some editing, and I was like, oh, man, I got so much editing. I was getting all stressed out. But then I was just watching a couple clips where you're sitting there giggling away like, and I was just so happy, like, yeah, this is good shit. You know, I have a lot of fun doing this with you, man.
Thank you.
I was getting serious for a minute. Why am I being nice to you, man?
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I have to cut this shit out of here. There's no way. I'm not putting this in, man.
For real, though, this time.
Yeah, I'm going to really cut this part out. There's no way.
Okay,
like, nothing has changed since we started. It's been a crazy journey, hasn't it, Geordie?
It really has.
We have met all sorts of cool people.
Yep.
One of those really cool people, Oleefia.
Mm-hmm. Oleefia.
You remember this day, don't you?
I do.
It was a cool day, man. Oleefia came out. She is one of the sweetest.
She's very welcoming.
She's a very welcoming individual, I must say.
And
like, you feel at ease the moment you start talking with her. Such a pleasant persona. Ooh.
She thinks before she says things. I love that.
How do you think before you talk? What is that?
Some people just don't have that filter, I guess.
Usually.
Or they don't give themselves enough time
usually
to think that maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, true. See, if I end up thinking before I talk, I usually don't say anything. Because I just think, nope, shouldn't say that. Nope. Shouldn't say. Oh, definitely shouldn't say that. You know, that's my story of my life, man. So anyway, yeah, very cool to have her here, man. And her performance just so soothing and so beautiful. Oh, what are you doing?
Just trying to fix this.
I had my eyes closed, man. I had my eyes closed, and you did that.
Oh my gosh!
What do you need to fix? It's picking you up fine. I can hear you, Geordie. Can you hear him at home, there, people? Say something, Geordie.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Now you're Is everything okay over there? Because I've noticed you haven't touched the mic for about 10 seconds. Okay.
Any breathing issues I should worry about?
Not right now, Geordie.
Okay.
Just as long as you breathe enough to keep yourself alive, and no more than that, you should be fine.
You're telling me to die.
No, I'm saying don't. I'm saying
figure out. Breath.
I'm saying figure out how much less breathing would kill you, and then just back it off slightly. Like, don't completely hold your breath, but like hold it enough. I mean, you might start getting a little lightheaded. That's where I want you to be with your breathing level. You know, just slow that heart rate down.
How long can you hold your breath underwater?
Right now, as a smoker, 4.3 seconds.
I did a minute this summer.
Wow.
And I'm a smoker. No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's not bad for some, and especially for somebody who has a fear of deeper water.
You have a fear of deeper water?
I can't even go to the bottom of the pool without feeling like my head's going to explode.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a thing. Anyhow,
is that what you'd call an irrational fear?
No, it's a physical
rational. Okay.
deformity or something of my skull. Or
is it actually like you feel that amount of pressure? Like it hurts?
Yeah, it hurts.
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. Or maybe my head's just wrong.
That sounds right.
My head is wrong.
Geordie, I don't know if anyone's ever diagnosed you with this, but I feel like you was born with wrong head syndrome. What's wrong head syndrome? So your head's just fucking wrong, Geordie. There ain't nothing right about it.
It's wrong for the water.
Yeah, so it was a great episode, man. Awesome having Oleefia here. She's such a great person, great personality. Mm-hmm. Any more adjectives, Geordie? Should I use some more?
Beautiful.
Beautiful person. Do we just say it at the same time?
Inside and out.
Ew. What do you...
That was a weird
Supposed to
one.
fist bump that.
Oh,
Anyway, we were very thrilled to have her here. Her performance, absolutely beautiful, soothing. Just, check it out.
One take. Let's go.
One take, man. Just bang-a-rang.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a headphones one.
Yeah.
Like, put the headphones on. Just sit down by a brook, by a meadow.
Yes.
A meadow and a brook.
Yes.
Is that possible?
A
Is
brook.
there any places where there's a meadow and a brook beside each other? Anyway, great performance. Check it out. And make sure you give her a follow. Check out her Insta. Check her out on Spotify. Very cool EP on there to check out. Yeah, man. You put it best. You said haunting elegance.
Yes, and speaking of haunting elegance, her violin player is
Oh, yes.
pretty top notch.
We had to make sure we gave a shout out to Chris Savage.
Savage.
Oleefia couldn't remember his last name during the episode, but we said we're going to throw it in the intro there because he did a phenomenal job on, I think it's her song Night especially, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. But anyway, so check out the whole EP, though. It's definitely a great listen. And stay tuned because she's got more music coming up, too. Right?
Hauntingly elegant, baby.
Hauntingly elegant, yo.
Let's do this thing.
Yeah, I think we should. Right?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the delightful, dulcet tones of Oleefia.
So should we do our intro, Geordie?
No.
Do it. I'm
Geordie-
excited for the intro.
Geordie hates this part.
It's not like a big thing.
That makes me want to do it
should be.
more, just knowing that you hate it so much. I'm going to put so much pizzazz on this one, Geordie. You ready? Hey, welcome back to the Poets Garden Podcast. I'm James,
I'm Geordie still. Yeah.
and this is the Poets Garden Podcast because I always repeat that every time.
Yeah.
We're very excited today. We have a very special guest, Miss Oleefia.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome. How are
Thank
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having
Thank
a
you so
good
much for
sunny
being here.
Sunday. Thank you for having me.
I don't know how I came across your stuff, but when I did, I was blown away. Like, you have such a great, I don't know if it's like mystique. Is that the right word to your music? Like,
Sure.
like it's just got, there's something about it. Like, I can't even place a genre on it.
Haunting
And
elegance.
oh,
Whoa.
you
Okay,
just made
Geordie,
that
go
shit up.
off.
Okay, Geordie, you take over. I'm just going to shut up.
Oh,
you
man.
go.
It's
Just go.
It's beautiful.
That was amazing.
What did you say again?
Haunting elegance. Like
No one's
everything
ever
is
explained
like
it like that.
Yeah.
slow and methodical and like just haunting a bit. Like lots of reverb. Love that reverb, man. Like,
Yeah.
I love all the background stuff you do too. Like it's stuff you can't
Yes.
pinpoint. Like
Oh,
if you're
yes.
is she singing there or not? Like it's like your mind wants to fill in the blanks, but it's probably there's no blanks. It's like
Right.
you're actually doing something. But
Yes.
It's-
Like Night. Sorry, like your song
Yeah.
Night
Yeah.
is
Oh,
like
man.
that too. Like the
That
layering in
song's
there
sick.
and like,
Oh, we had so many layers. That song was obviously, you probably could guess it. That took the longest one. The
imagine.
most time
yeah.
to record. I think we ended up having like over 100 different layers that we
Wow.
put in
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
very thought through. Lots going on.
I thought the guy on it was the guy from the Fleet Foxes.
Really?
He's kind of got that.
Yeah.
That kind
yeah.
of. Sorry, I don't mean in disrespect. I can't
No.
sing.
That's
very
not a
well,
disrespect. That's a compliment.
but- No,
Hell
yeah, he's got
Yeah.
that same
Yeah.
timbre.
Timber. Don't. No. We always know.
Okay. Anyway,
Just leave
But we
it.
could give him a shout out. Quinn Sojo. He's incredible.
Quinn
Sojo, yeah,
One
yeah.
of the most
Yeah.
beautiful singers, and the whistling, the high whistling at the end.
Yeah.
well, that was him.
That sounds magical. That's him. We
Oh,
both
wow.
whistle. We're both whistlers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the really high one that sounds like something from a movie, like that's him.
Wow.
And then I'm a little
Yeah.
bit lower in the whistling range.
Really?
But
Yeah.
yeah, he's an incredible singer. I'm
Okay.
very
I
grateful
thought it was
that he
you
sang with me.
doing the whistling too.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
That's the
whistling in
mystique
songs.
of it all.
That's
like
the
you
mystique.
said, right? The-
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, haunting elegance. That's gonna go
I'm
down.
gonna remember
in the-
that.
Yeah, that's gonna be in the
Oh,
Poets Garden.
I could
history
say
books.
more. You want me to say more?
Yes,
Dude,
Geordie.
the floor's all
Okay,
yours.
keep
Let's
going,
go.
man.
Talking about the song "Night," right?
Yes.
Epic.
Okay, you
Exquisite.
needed to write that down.
The guitar chords are beautifully chunked. That's not a good word.
Not so elegant.
Oh yeah.
That's so elegant, Jordy. Oh my gosh, it's such a vibe,
Thank you.
and it's movie fodder.
Wow.
So like, they should make a movie based around it.
Based around Night.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
honestly,
awesome.
it has, like soundtrack vibes for sure. Like for me, I always think like when I hear something like that, because I've done a lot of projects where I've tried to layer and I've tried to create all these ambiences going on and stuff like that, but I never really get anywhere like what you've done. So I'm just curious, like, how do you write a song like that? Like, yeah, like did it start off with just you and a guitar or you and a, yeah?
Everything always starts out so simple. And I feel like songs either come to me when I'm like out in nature, like, you know, maybe walking through a forest, and I'll just suddenly have a melody that pops into my head. And so I'll pull my phone out and go to voice notes and I'll just hum it.
Yeah.
And then I'll take it home and I'll try and base something off of that. And sometimes that works. But a lot of the time it's just late at night when I'm at home and I'm just sitting on the floor with my guitar. And I think I really have to feel inspired.
Yeah.
It's not like I can sit down and force a melody. That just doesn't really happen with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate forced songwriting. Anything I've written has always been an overflow of an emotion or an experience or something.
Yeah.
But with Night, that one was just a very natural. I was just sitting down late one night, and I
see what you did there.
Oh. Yeah.
and I think I just wanted to write a soft love song, because a lot of my stuff isn't necessarily love songs. I've never really been into that. It's always been a little bit more broad or something with like a deeper message to it. But I just wanted to write something that was a love song, potentially, you know, about two people just kind of abandoning themselves to nature, but abandoning themselves to each other in like the zest of life that we miss a lot of the time.
Right. Yeah.
And then also, it was just this simple like romance with nature, with forests, with, you know, green canopies, with trees, with birds. And I think when I wrote it, it was very simple. It was just me and my guitar. And then when we brought it to the studio, I was like, I have no idea what to do with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we could keep it simple. It could just be a guitar and it could just be my voice and we can just keep it basic. But I knew that I wanted to have some sort of rhythmic drum in there. Something that makes you just kind of want to jump around and dance.
I love that rhythm.
Yeah.
It's so fun, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's moving, right?
Yeah. And it kind of comes in
Tribal
halfway.
almost.
Yeah.
Like that tribal jungle
Yes.
element. I just love that. And then I always wanted strings in my music. I learned violin for a little bit when I was a kid, but I had to stop lessons. So I never got to progress in that.
Yeah.
But when I was in college and I was studying music back in England, I studied music for a bit. My favorite thing was composing. And my dream, actually, funnily enough, was to write soundtracks for movies. That's always,
cool.
that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean,
Me too, but I
hard
never
and
got into it.
terrifying.
Yeah.
But like, that's what makes a movie. That's what makes any party event. It is the music that is there, that's playing, that you're experiencing and feeling.
Exactly.
It sets the tone completely.
Yeah.
But with Night, we kind of just started really slow. Got the lyrics, and there aren't that many lyrics. It's quite a simple song.
Did you play the violin for it?
No, so thank you.
But
bringing
you
me back
wrote
to the
it,
strings.
and you.
Yeah, so then I was like, I would just love to have strings, because when I studied music back in England, I wrote this song and I wrote a part for cello. And luckily there was one guy that played cello and he played with me.
Sick.
And I just remember that moment so clearly. The first time we ever played together, it was euphoric. And I wanted to cry and I wanted to scream and I wanted to laugh. So I was like, this is incredible. Like, this is something I've always wanted to do and it's happening.
Yeah.
And there is no disappointment in this moment. Like, this is everything and more of what I could have asked for.
Yeah.
So, my producer, Simon Bridgefoot, he knew this guy. His name is Chris. I cannot remember his last name. I feel so bad. But he is very, very experienced, plays in a lot of orchestras. He was a local guy.
Cool.
But he came in for the day, just for a couple hours, and I'd written out what I wanted as best as I could, because I'm really bad with theory.
Yeah.
I play by ear. I'm just very much like go with the flow. And initially we thought it would be great to play on cello. That's what I wanted. And he was like, oh, cello isn't really my main instrument, but I can try. Violin's my main instrument. I was like, well, let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
So he, worked on the notes and we kind of got it going. And it was a little bit scratchy just because it wasn't his natural inclination to play cello. And I was sitting there listening and I was like, yeah, this is good. This is great. But it's just something's not right. It's not hitting the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's just see how it sounds with the violin. He was like, oh yeah, okay. So he pulls his violin out, and it is night and day when he starts playing. Oh my gosh. We were like, that's it. It has to be violin.
Oh yeah.
Like you are
Good
playing
choice.
this. It's like second nature. It's like breathing for him.
Yeah, yeah.
So we took the violin and we just lowered the octave a little bit.
Oh,
So that
okay.
it's not this like high pitched screechy violin sound. I want it to be lower like a cello.
Right.
So it is a violin, but we just lowered the octaves like a little bit.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
It wasn't too piercing,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Good call.
But
Yeah, no,
man,
It's meant.
that song was a lot. It took a long time, but worth it. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so much fun. And, you know, Quinn was someone I worked with, and he was a fellow musician, and I really respected and looked up to his music. And
Yeah.
obviously, as you said, his voice is incredible. And he was open to singing, and he came in for a couple hours and just nailed it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was so fun.
Yeah. No, it's got so much energy and just so much power. And yeah.
It's
Yeah,
great.
well,
I
yeah.
love the vibe of it though.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And so,
the-
like I've done, yeah, like I think when I first started listening to your stuff, because I was just in the car and so I wasn't necessarily paying attention to what song was what,
Yeah.
right? But I just remember feeling like so positive. Like, you know, it's not like happy go lucky type music, but it still gives you just this kind of overwhelming positive vibe, you know? Just the softness of it and just, I don't know, just that like mysterious kind of nature to it. Like it feels like I've heard a style like this before, but it still feels original and like foreign, you know, something
Yeah.
I've never heard before.
That's cool.
And so it just keeps me intrigued every time. Like,
Right.
yeah. So,
That intro is something else too.
oh, yes. Oh, yes. The intro and the outro. Like, yeah.
Jeez.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
It's a bit much, really. Can you
yeah. Yeah. Tone it down.
making everybody else look bad?
I know, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Like just
Thank you.
Yeah.
oh,
I appreciate that. Yeah,
very elegant.
because some people, you know, some people really love instrumentals.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to hear the music, and some people they get bored with that. And like, we just want to hear you sing. We just want to hear the lyrics.
Right, yeah.
They're more about the words, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I grew up only playing music. I didn't sing, and it wasn't until probably like 6 years ago or so that I actually started to allow myself to sing and be like, maybe I can sing. Maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
But I was just a musician growing up.
Yeah.
And I had piano lessons since the age of 5.
Yeah.
That's what was my favorite thing, was playing piano. That's my main instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad is a guitar player. And I grew up in missions, actually, not in mission, but in missions, traveling around the world, living on different bases. I have a big family. I'm the middle kid, out of 6 kids.
Yeah.
And life was very unstable a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so music was kind of that grounding thing that I had. Anywhere I went, whether there was a guitar or piano, if there was a piano, oh my goodness, I was ecstatic. That's what I did all the time, was just play piano.
Yeah.
But if there was a guitar around and no piano, I would just force myself to try to learn something or strum or learn a couple chords, because I just needed something. That outlet was what really helped me. But my dad was a worship leader, and he's a singer and a guitar player, and he's very passionate about music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's always been my muse. Like, I wrote this EP for my dad, so much so, like, I dedicated this whole thing to him.
Cool.
Because he was always my biggest believer and would always encourage me. And whenever I'd write a little song growing up, I'd ask him to come sit down and listen to it. And we went through phases of every day we would lead worship together. I'd play piano, he'd play guitar, and he'd sing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
he'd always try and get me to sing with him. And I was always like, no, Dad, I can't sing. I won't sing.
What brought on the catalyst then of you're like, I'm gonna sing now?
You know, it's a good question. I don't really know. I think it kind of just got to like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, why this is the thing that brings me the most joy in life. Why would I not even try? And I think too, I had a couple friends, like I would sing with my sisters growing up, because some of my sisters are incredible singers, and I always would compare myself to them and be like, oh, they're just so good.
Right.
And I was always more the muso instrumental girl. But I think I would always do it in private. I loved singing and jamming in private. I loved it so much.
Right.
And there were moments when I would listen back to recordings and I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. Maybe I'm kind of in my head and maybe I can sing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's when I moved here, it was, I lived alone. It was COVID. I didn't have a lot of people to spend time with. So I just spent a lot of time playing my guitar, which I hardly know. I don't know any theory about guitar. I taught it myself guitar. I'm pretty basic on it. But a friend had lent me his acoustic, and I was trying to learn some Bob Dylan songs.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so I learned Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And I was recording it, and I was like, I'm just going to put it on Instagram. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to do it, like whatever.
Yeah.
And it was also, again, COVID, I feel like all of our minds were in such different places.
Right.
Like, you didn't have much else to do. And you were alone. I was like, well, whatever. Like, I'm just going to do it. Who cares? So I did, and so many people gave such positive feedback, and they were like,
yeah.
what are you doing? Why aren't you singing?
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, I definitely have improved since then, but that was kind of the first moment where I was like, okay, there's something here, and I need to not be so afraid. And also, you just can't compare your art or your voice or your music.
Exactly.
Like, you can compare in a healthy way of like, this is how my music sounds and this is how yours sounds.
Yeah.
But as soon as I stopped comparing, and I was like, you know what? I know that I don't have this like soulful, loud, powerful voice. And I know that sometimes my voice is maybe off key, or it's raspy, or it's not perfect. But I know that there's something that I bring through my voice and through my music and through these melodies that come to me that I can give out. And I know there's something there. And it's not going to be for everyone. My music isn't going to, you know, meet everyone in the same way. But if it could even bless a couple people and also like bring release for me, why the heck am I not doing this?
Exactly.
You know?
That's a great attitude.
And like, I know, you know, when you know something in your life, you're like, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's the word? A disservice to myself and to the world if I don't try and do something with this. So it's just, honestly, man, it's just kind of built from there.
Yeah.
And I was really lucky to win a grant, a little music grant, which is crazy. And that is the thing that snowballed into me even just doing music. That gave me the option to record an EP. I wouldn't have been able to do it without that.
Yeah.
And then just around Abbotsford, started playing shows, and it's slow. I think that's very common with music. It's a slow journey.
Totally.
And you have to just say yes to opportunities and network and meet people. And also just keep that passion alive with what you're doing. Don't ever lose that excitement and that passion, and don't ever let it become something that you have to do. Just let it be this natural outflow of like, this is who I am, and this is something that is life-giving and brings some light to life, you know?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's kind of where I'm at right now. It's scary.
You're
and it's
saying
like
how it should be
right.
for musicians. Like that's like the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've always, I know you probably feel this way too, but I've felt like I had to do things like I had that same like, yeah, I probably got something here, but like, but then I became like, I would like beat myself into, no, you have to do this now because that's your purpose and that's your, like, it became like, it just ruined it. Like it was like an ego thing or something, like a weird, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, like I think there's definitely
But it ruined the vibe. You know what I mean? Like I just like I got all caught up in like,
it was almost like you were having to force yourself.
Oh yeah,
to make your art, which it's never going to be satisfying if you're forcing yourself to do it.
It's going about it all wrong. But that's how my brain worked.
Right.
Like that's.
Yeah. No,
so what you're saying is like that's my ideal. Like oh man, it's such a chill attitude towards it. Like that's, but still passionate, and like that's the perfect way to. To be about music, I think so. Anyway, I'm jealous of your journey. Okay, I'm jealous of your journey. And I'm sorry.
Make sure you say it.
And I'm sorry.
I knew you were going to forget, so I had to remind you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, I think that's that is a great attitude too. And I guess I've definitely been pushing myself over the years, like because there was so many times where I felt like I should be doing something else, but. Yes, I was like, hey, I have so much time invested already into this. I need to keep going. Getting
like 20
better.
hours at a time.
Wow.
But
But
at the same time, I was able to look back and have the respect and the appreciation for what I had done. Like even though I wasn't necessarily happy with the finished product, but I could still be like, okay, wow, I can see how I've improved from like 5 years ago. Before I started applying myself and all that too. But. Oh no, we're not on air anymore. Oh shit. Okay, we're back on air. Everything's fine. Anyway, yeah. So before it was like I felt like I was writing masterpieces. Like
When I met James
bearing
again,
my soul.
When we were like 20,
Yeah.
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, go. I'm just moving my
flowing,
hands
you're
around.
flowing,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
moving my hands around, man, like just randomly.
Mine are sweaty. Anyway,
I know. We'll take a break in a minute.
When we got back together, when we were like 20-ish or something,
Yeah, because we dated for years before that.
You
and
did.
then
when we got back
Yeah.
together,
Jordy's always saying things that make
Oh
it
my
seem like
God.
we're in a relationship.
it was such
which
a
is
relief
totally
to see you
fine.
again. Oh my God.
It's totally fine, Jordy. Okay, so start again.
We were you all know the story. We were kids together and stuff. We grew up a bit, got separated. We separated. Then we got back together. And then
Take
so
it
when we did
further.
though, he was kind of like he was in his hippie phase, right? Like long
Love
hair,
it.
beard, and everything. I was like, cool,
Yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
I was like, let's
Tweed
jam.
blazers.
Let's play
Don't forget the tweed blazers.
tweed blazers.
Did you
a lot of
ever have
blazers,
dreads?
corduroys.
Like just natural ones.
Natural
like they just yeah. 'Cause
Amazing.
I didn't brush my hair or anything ever. And it was like down to here, so it just formed dreads all over the place.
We love it.
Kind of got those. What's that guy? Manson. Kind of
Yeah, lots of
Manson
people called me
vibes.
Charles Manson.
Oh.
Lots of people call me Jesus too, though.
Jesus. Yeah.
I
you
mean,
got
one
the-
of those guys you want to be compared to. I won't tell you which one, but one of them you
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
would be
like
good.
I don't think
One of them
Manson's
thought
that
he
bad,
was
you know. But actually, one time I went to pick up my ex-wife at church because I didn't go. Like I would just drop her off and then I'd go get high and then I'd come pick her up.
Okay.
But so I walk into the church and like I was friends with the pastor guy.
Yeah.
So I walked into the church right while they're praying, but I didn't know it was like in a gym, like a school. You know, school gym doors super loud and
Oh, yeah.
heavy. So I do the bar thing and it's click click and it opens and there's me. You know, I got like the friggin' Rambo like freaking thing around my head, long hair, beard, and then like they're in the middle of praying, and then he just like looks up and he's like, "Jesus has returned," and everyone turns around, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm high as a kite, just like, "Oh shit!"
What a great reaction.
Oh, he was so
I love
funny.
that.
Oh, I love
Bless
that guy.
you, man.
Todd Martin, I love you. Shout out Todd Martin.
We love it. That's awesome.
So, anyways, what was I saying again?
We dated for a
After
while.
a separation.
Yeah.
Anyway, we started playing music, but he had just come out with like a little
Love
kind
songs.
of album.
Yeah, we were talking about
It
that.
was before the love songs thing.
Okay.
This was more
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
like Freebird, man. Like not
Yeah,
Freebird,
man.
but like just living, man. Like the weight of the world is nothing to me.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, like and then what was the good one? The really good one.
That was the good one. They're all good, Jordan.
No,
What are you talking about?
but like those songs when you
Yeah.
started, like that was like the vibe, right? Like it was just chill, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of let's go surfing or something, but not like
Nice.
not that
Yeah,
kind of
not
thing,
like
but
that.
like just chill vibes,
Chill
right?
surf
Like,
rock vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of
No,
like
it-
Jack Johnson-ish, I guess.
Okay.
Jack Johnson, yeah, not surf rock. It was.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways,
But it's interesting, right? Like seeing the differences of
yeah,
depending on what someone's writing about or what season they're in, of what season of inspiration or like
Yeah.
what is influencing you right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've never really written love songs. I mean, I've written all the love songs in my journals and whatever,
Yeah.
but I've never pursued them.
Right.
And Night is a very subtle love song, but it's not like necessarily what I didn't write it about anyone. I just wrote it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And it's so interesting because you take that song on and you write it in such a different way.
Right.
It's like it's so vulnerable, it's so precious, and you're trying to be subtle, but you're also trying to like relay these emotions and these things that you feel. And it is a very vulnerable thing. And you know, I talk to people and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, you're like becoming Taylor Swift," and I'm like, don't really want to become that.
Yeah.
Like no, you know, respect.
ever
Exactly.
getting back
I don't
together.
want to be too angsty, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
also like people like love songs and they can relate to love songs.
Sure.
And that's such a normal part of life. So I'm trying to like
I wouldn't
be
have known
okay
it was a
with
love
that.
song.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of the point, right? Like,
For Night,
yeah.
yeah, that one's very subtle. And I think the more I listen
don't
to it,
know
even
about
now, I'm like,
I don't know about you. You know, like it's very mysterious.
yeah.
I think it's.
I
'cause-
thought you were about to say, but I'm feeling 22. And I was like, you are not still quoting Taylor Swift.
Oh, that
I
one.
was like, okay.
I would never have
Sorry, that one flew right over my head. No, anyway, no, I just mean like it's mysterious. I think it's because you sing really slow too, like and when the words are drawn out and stuff,
They're
it's
very
kinda-
drawn out.
It's not like
Oh,
1, 2,
Yeah, but
3
the-
to the 4. You know,
Yeah.
I love how you
Yeah, yeah.
bend into the
You-
melody.
yeah, like
Lots
so-
of bending.
Oh,
Lots
yeah.
of flowing.
Love it.
Sometimes I'm like, is it too much? I don't know, but I do think it's a characteristic of my music now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Whistling,
totally,
bending, melancholy, but it's like uplifting melancholy in a way.
yeah. Yes. Oh, that's good too. Yeah, because like I was
Write
saying,
that down.
It's very emotionally
Fun.
intelligent.
Oh yes, we
Yeah.
are so emotionally
I don't
intelligent right
know why
now.
I'm doing this.
You're kind of scaring me, Jordan.
Sorry, everybody.
Guys, we have so many inside jokes. We've only been hanging out for like an hour.
I know. What the hell, eh? That probably means it's time to take a little break
Break
here,
time.
too. You guys want to take a little break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, this sounds like a great time to hear from our sponsor, the Penny Coffee Shop in Mission, BC. Check them out. Hey guys, James here. We're outside the Penny again. I've been casing this place for about 4 hours. We're gonna go in and make another ad for them. They still have no idea. This is gonna be great.
Oh, yeah. Good disguise.
All right, let's do this.
I didn't even look before crossing the street.
That's all right. I did for both of us. Wow, look at this place, man. This is so cool. Look at all these lights. Look at all the baked goods. So many cool baked goods. It's amazing. We got so much cool merch, too. We make a great gift for a loved one, in case I've never said that before. This is a cool place.
Yeah, welcome.
It's my first time in here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I heard about you guys on the Poets Garden podcast. Have you heard of that? It's like a local podcast from Mission. Features like singer-songwriters and stuff. Ever heard of it?
No, I haven't heard
No?
of it. Sorry.
Okay, cool. And on there, they actually said you guys have really good gluten-free brownies. So could we try one of those? Cool new bags, too. I mean, I've never been in here, so that's it?
Yeah, that's everything.
Awesome, thank you. See ya. Let's go. Dude, we did it again. We got it.
She is so nosy.
That was so insane, man. Is that good? Yeah.
It's perfect.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, we have to take a selfie after, too. I always forget to take
Selfie?
selfies with
Okay.
guests, so
Oh, yeah.
we'll do that after.
Okay.
Yes, that was a good break we had, eh, guys? Mm-hmm. Talked about some cool stuff.
We talked about some really cool. I mean, me and Geordie had a really intellectual conversation about Sigur Rós.
Oh, that's
Ross.
right.
We did.
Yes, you did. I gotta say too. I just want to take this moment to say I'm really happy at this moment because before you came here, Geordie stresses sometimes, right? Because we have anxiety. Both of us do.
Me too. Don't worry, I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But Geordie said something to me, which he says every time, which he says, "I'm sorry, man. I have nothing to say. I don't know what I'm gonna say today." And I say, "That's fine, man. We'll just figure it out." And you know what? It seems like we figured it out.
It looks like it.
Really?
Yeah,
You're keeping the conversation
you've been talking a lot,
flowing.
man. I'm not being an asshole right now. See, Geordie thinks I'm about to say something.
No.
Okay.
I'm just. Now I'm thinking I'm talking too much.
No.
So-
No.
Geordie,
Oh,
you got
I
stuff to
shouldn't have said
say
anything.
that is worth hearing.
Exactly.
So,
Don't be afraid of your voice. Be
and
afraid.
I'm excited to hear more of your notes about my songs too.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
I think I went through them all. No.
Okay, well
not
then
yet.
that's
Maybe
okay.
you start an
No,
essay. 500 words, double spaced.
Word essay.
Yeah, you should be more afraid of manhandling that mic during the podcast.
I'm trying to fix this here.
No, you're great, Joy. You're a gem.
Well,
So
on that note,
So Oleefia, so we've talked about your music, which you have out on Spotify, which everyone should go check out, by the way. That's Oleefia. Check out how to spell it in the name of this episode title. I was curious, though, you said that you have written a new song, but are you like working on more, and do you have any more recordings potentially coming up?
Yes,
Oh,
hopefully.
Nice. Yeah.
So I haven't done much recording at all because any money I had was being put towards my work permit and my visa to try and stay in this country.
Yeah.
So that's kind of took all of my time and effort and money. And now that that's been approved, thank God, I can finally put my energy into something else.
Sweet.
So over the summer, I've been writing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's been a little bit different. It's been a bit more upbeat, a little bit angsty. Like some of my song, like this one song I wrote, it's called Jackass.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's about
Bam Margera.
who?
Nothing. Carry on.
I didn't get that one either.
Somebody will.
But it's basically like, yeah, it's about my ex. We're like best friends, one of the greatest people in the world. But I was very open with him, and I would play it for him and be like, what do you think about this? The song's about you. And he'd be like, oh, I love it. Yeah, this part's great. Yeah, this is so true. And he was like kind of my buddy in this song.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's a little bit like surf rocky, kind of punky, nothing too heavy.
Sweet.
Cool.
So I wrote this song. I was like, this is a little bit different for Oleefia. But I think as well, I had a lot of people, okay, not a lot. I had a couple people tell me that my music was very somber and that there were certain festivals or certain events happening where I was like, I can play They were like, yeah, we love your stuff, but your stuff's really like somber and melancholic.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, fair. That's very
fair.
true.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be a little bit more versatile because I have a lot to say. And I know that I shouldn't be restricted to just one genre of music.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love the melancholic, sad, deep, emotional stuff, that's natural.
Yeah.
But I wrote the song Jackass and I played it with a band and it has this guitar riff in it and it's super fun.
Sweet.
And then I wrote another song called Medication Discontinuation
Oh.
that I really love as well. That one's like gets pretty heavy.
Cool.
And I'm just kind of like yelling in a lot of it. And it's very vulnerable. And it speaks for itself. It's when I went off of antidepressants like in January, beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll be stuck on those for the rest of my life.
Oh, you know, it's like it comes and goes, and there's moments when I'm like, I feel like I should maybe still be on these.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to just stay off of them. And, you know, you process and you get out those emotions and that stress and anxiety in different ways, which I think has helped with writing music. Because the best songs come from real life situations of you just being like, oh my gosh, I have so many feelings and I'm going through a lot and there's a lot in my brain right now and I don't want to put it on people. Not that I don't have people that would take that on gladly, but it's like, I want to get this out in a different way that's healthy. Yeah. So
don't do what I did to you outside, which was use you as a sounding board for my therapeutic issues.
Yeah,
I loved our conversation, so don't apologize for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but,
Geordie.
That added to my experience, so don't be sorry for that.
but that's what not to do, so I get it. So that's what you're trying not to do.
To a certain extent.
You're doing it in a healthy way.
Trying to.
Music.
Trying to, yeah.
go.
Because I think there's a time where I was just really happy. Everything was great. I was just chilling. But there was a passivity that came along with that where I was like, I'm just living life. But there aren't things going on that are inspiring me to write, which is fine in a way. But for me, when I'm going through something or I experience something that makes me feel a lot, that's when I sit down and I just write and I write and I write and I write. So I'd say I definitely have enough new songs where I could release an album.
Sweet.
And it's so exciting. I've been performing a lot of those. A lot of them are not on the EP.
Yeah.
Simply because we didn't have enough time or money to do that.
Need another grant.
Bro, I know. Another grant would be great.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, I think, this coming year, I really want to start recording more. That's something that would be, because I feel like my music's just kind of been sitting now for a while. It's been like almost 2 years since I released my EP. And I don't want just that EP to be the defining factor of who Oleefia is or what my music is. Because there's a lot of new stuff that I've written and a lot of new inspiration. So, yeah. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
It would be
No,
great
that's
to hear
great.
it all.
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited to hear
Yeah.
the other side of you too. That's
Thanks, yeah.
like we've heard the brooding kind of like melodic, like again elegant stuff. Like
And
it'd be cool to hear some
Like
other
elegant anger.
yeah.
yeah, but like I want to hear that other stuff too.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I get excited about like when I hear that an artist, isn't afraid to say cross genres or, something that you like when you did your first EP, like the stuff that you're writing now, you might have thought wouldn't fit with that stuff maybe, right? You might have had this idea for what your sound is,
You got to stay on brand kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's beautiful that you get to that point where you're just like, no, I'm going to express myself however I want and, fuck the rest of them if they don't like it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone else is still going to connect with that. That kind of angsty side. Like because I performed at this little festival in the summer and I was a little scared, but I played with a band for like the first time ever and we performed these songs. And I remember at the end of Medication Discontinuation, I'm just kind of repeating this. And the guy behind me, his name is Brant. He's an amazing bassist, guitarist. But I had him just like basically scream Medication Discontinuation behind me at this like release.
Yeah.
And as if the medication itself is talking.
Yeah.
And so we play this and, my drummer Colin, he's just going for it. We're all going for it. And I'm just like yelling and Brant's yelling and it's kind of this beautiful chaos. And the song ends very abruptly.
Nice. Yeah.
And the whole crowd, I like opened my eyes and I look and they were all like, okay, clapping. Like, who is this? We haven't seen this side of you.
Right. Yeah.
And I was a little nervous. And after everyone came over and they were like, we loved those songs. That was crazy. That was this whole new side of you. And like,
Sweet.
we loved kind of like a little bit of anger, but also just like, I'm not sugarcoating anything. And I'm not necessarily romanticizing this. I'm just kind of saying it as it is. And I think it's pretty relatable and it's simple, but it's exciting. It's exciting. And again, in those songs, I'm not like singing with this like airy fairy voice. It's like, I'm kind of just like yelling and I'm like, this does not sound very good, but the feeling is there and the mood is there. Right. So yeah, it's fun.
That's the most important part. Yeah. Capturing that soul and that, you know, what inspired you to write that in the first place. Right. Like, yeah, that's definitely the most important thing. So yeah. And I think people really identify with that too. I know, we did a song at a studio, and then I remember afterwards I was driving home with the fiddle player from the band, and we're just listening to the mix from our day, and there was a part in my vocals where I'm just like, I don't like that, like it didn't sound that confident, like it kind of wavered a bit, and he's just like, oh, shut up, man. He's like, that's like vulnerability. He's like, people love vulnerability. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. People like it when you sort of mess up or whatever it is, right? And that kind of gave me, because it wasn't like, you know, horrible, but for me, it was just like to me, it was just like, I don't want people to hear that, you know?
Yeah.
But in actuality, people appreciate when you're being vulnerable,
It's
you're being
raw.
real, you know, and raw. And
Well, think of like Bon Iver. Who's releasing an album tomorrow, which is very exciting. I don't know if you guys know that. He's releasing a new album.
I didn't know that, no.
So excited.
Yeah.
But he's obviously like such a huge inspiration to so many people. He really set a new genre when he came out with his music.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is like, it's not perfect.
Right. Yeah.
And his voice isn't this flawless, buttery voice. But there is so much heart and emotion in his singing, and his raspiness, or when he, you know, his voice breaks when he's singing. Yeah. But that's what makes it so beautiful. If Bon Iver was all pitch perfect, it wouldn't be Bon Iver. It wouldn't be this whole new genre of music and soul and voice that he created. And I feel like he really set the standard of like, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
So just let your voice do whatever it's doing that day. Because, for example, like someone's going to hear that song, whether it's Skinny Love or whatever, and they're going to hear it again, and they're going to listen to it again. And if he went in and perfected every little mark and every little raw part that wasn't perfect, that person would go back to this beloved song that they love so much. And they would listen to it. And if it was all perfect, it's not the same song.
Right. Yeah.
All of that heart and emotion is gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something I think that people should be embracing more, right? Like,
yeah.
Do you agree, Geordie?
I do.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. Yeah.
But we're both kind of perfectionists too, so we've had that like, no, if it's not right, no, do it again, again. You know, where like, so like, But
I think
I
our
love
choir
that.
background kind of helped with that. And it, you know, it's in a choir. It's like, oh, you can't be imperfect. You need to be on it.
Totally.
Yeah. But no, I totally agree with that too. And even with like style of singing too. Like I had a friend who auditioned for Canadian Idol. Awesome guy, awesome voice, awesome singer. Like I've heard him play. Well, I used to be in a band with him, and like amazing singer. And then he ended up, you know, like the judges kind of went off and basically said something like, "You're like too weird for this show." So it's like one of those moments that just cuts, you know, like for him. But I told him, I'm like, dude, like, imagine if like Tom York went on Canadian Idol to audition. Like, what do you think the hell they're gonna say to him? Like,
You're a little scoey.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like originality. You know, for me, it just always trumps perfection. You know what I mean?
Of course. And when it's authentic originality. Some people these days are just like, I'm really weird and this is me. And it's like, okay, but you're actually, this is a whole facade you're putting on.
Right.
Which is also fine.
Yeah.
But when it's not authentic, you can see right through that.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You want that originality.
Exactly.
That riz, as the kids are saying these days.
Yeah. And that's why, like, you know, like I'm not a huge fan of like Pearl Jam. I don't know if I'm a fan to anyone here, but you know, he's got the and I sorry, but I think because like I didn't listen to a lot of secular music when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
Because I wasn't allowed to. So I discovered them, I guess, later. And around that time, there was like Creed and all that too, and there was all these bands singing with the
Yes.
And so, like, I still don't like Pearl Jam, but at least when I listen to Pearl Jam, I can say, okay, that was the start of that voice. But when I hear everyone else doing that, I'm always just, to me, it doesn't sound original. It doesn't sound authentic. It sounds like
Yeah.
they're trying to be Pearl Jam, or you know what I mean? Like they're trying to put on a show.
It's the same with country vocals though. Like,
That's good point. Yes.
it's like those guys aren't talking like that normally. But
No,
then
it's
they put
twangy.
on the
Yeah, like
it's
lots of those
Yeah.
guys don't even have accents, but then they're you're like, what?
Yeah,
What the
it's-
fuck are you talking about?
it's interesting. It's
Actually,
a
no, I-
phenomenon that happens though.
Yeah,
It's
I shouldn't bash country music.
Are you
though.
guys
No.
country fans?
No.
No,
But well, some like here and there.
the
here and
point
there.
is I'm
I
trying
like
to make-
old country.
Yes.
Like if you're talking John Denver and like,
Of course.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, but when it comes down to a guy
Merle
singing about
Haggard.
like his truck,
And his dog and
yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
doesn't really hit me.
Yeah.
But then like every once in a while, like Garth Brooks had that song, The River. Like I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry.
beautiful.
With the wind upon the sea, his water is my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Anyway,
Wow.
yeah.
I've never heard that song, but that was a beautiful
It
rendition.
is.
of
It's a beautiful song, but see, I first heard that a girl in my school actually sang it a cappella for some talent show thing, and I was just like, I thought she wrote it, but then
Oh,
she told me it
wow.
was a Garth Brooks song. So occasionally, country songs hit me like, wow, like I absolutely
Yeah,
love that.
in context too. I mean,
Yeah.
an a cappella performance from a woman, like that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, and the female voice has always been my weakness. So yeah, I mean,
It's true.
It'll get you.
Garth
is.
Garth Brooks
It does-
is
it
also
does.
my weakness. But no, I'm just-
I
yeah.
have nightmares now.
Well, where we at? Well, yeah, I
Garth
mean,
Brooks.
yeah, we can get ready to go in and play a song too if you're ready for that. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is there anything else you wanted to share first before I?
What would be your British accent? Like which area? Are you Cockney?
No.
Are you a bit of the old, bit of all right? You know, you're like, what have you got? Is it more posh?
It'd be a bit softer.
A softer,
Softer.
posh? Kind
Softer.
Softer.
Okay, but you know what's so embarrassing is I can't really put on a good British accent. It just has to come out naturally.
Fair enough.
yeah,
no.
But like, I mean, all of my friends are like, I was living in Exeter, which is in the south, in Devon,
Okay.
like near Cornwall. Cornwall has got a whole other thing going on.
Okay.
And my dad's family all lives in the Cotswolds, so it's like very prim, proper English.
That word sounds English.
Yeah, totally. It's like little villages in the countryside.
Sweet.
But
Thatched roofs.
yeah, some of them,
That's
straight
cool.
up. But I don't know. For me, it's like it's very soft. It's more like my R's will be soft, or like just little things, the way I enunciate things, or it's a little bit more sing-songy, or it's very subtle.
Right.
But
Yeah.
or like if I'm saying like I'm talking, it won't. It's just it's very subtle.
Like that.
I'm
Like you just
talking.
did it.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. Sorry, you were doing that on
It's
purpose.
yeah.
I see. I thought you just went into it. I'm like, I got it.
Oh my
She did it.
gosh, it's perfect timing.
She did it for real.
What about the garage? The garage?
Garage,
Yeah?
aluminium.
Element. There it is. Yeah.
I think my favorite thing that I miss is like there's just the subtle little chats that like if you walk past a British person, if you're on a walk or whatever, here it's like, hi, how are you? Hey, how's it going? Or you just do the nod.
Yeah.
Whereas in English, I was like, you're right, hiya, you're right, hiya. But you say, you're right.
You're
Are
right.
you all right? And I remember when I first moved there, I was like, everyone is like asking me if I'm all right. And a
I
lot of
get you.
Americans that would come, they'd be like, everyone's so genuine and kind and sweet. They're all asking me if I'm all right all the time. I was like, oh no. Are you telling them how you are? Because they're not genuinely trying to figure out how you're doing. Like,
wanna know.
you just go, hiya, you're right, you're right. That's what you say when you see each other.
Right,
And it's very like passive. Just like, yeah, I'm all right, mate. You, yeah, good. And that's it.
Posh.
But it's,
Top draw. Okay.
I will say though, I don't know if you heard it in outro, there's that voice of a guy talking. Actually, in the
Oh, yeah,
intro
yeah,
and
yeah.
outro,
Yeah.
that's my dad's voice.
Oh, okay,
So a lot
cool.
of people
Yeah.
don't know this,
Yeah.
but so my family and I live in Colorado. They lived there for like 7 years.
Yeah.
So usually at Christmas time, I'll go out and I'll spend some time with them. And my dad is just like my favorite person in the world. I love my dad so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's an amazing human. And he was driving me home to the airport, driving to the airport after Christmas.
Yeah.
And we were having this conversation just about life and God and religion and future. And I just secretly started recording it on my phone because I was like, I just want to have this.
Cool.
And who knows if I can use it for something one day.
Yeah.
I ended up using, when it says this life is short, but then there's eternity.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
my dad. It's just, he just said it in this clip and he's talking about life. And that whole end in intro, my dad just says such a profound, beautiful thing. I don't know if you remember it, but he's talking about like, life is short, but then there's eternity. And if that's my perspective, how am I going to live my life? How am I going to use my time? And it was just so beautiful. And I was like, this is just my dad through and through. Yeah. And so I really, really, that was one of the other visions besides having strings and those instrumentals. I wanted to have a little snippet of my dad's voice. Yeah. And so my producer is amazing. He's just like anything I needed or any ideas I had, he'd be like, yep. And he would make it happen. He's so, so talented. Shout out Simon Bridgefoot. He managed to get this little snippet off my phone, and we added loads of weird like effects to it, so it sounds kind of old school. Yeah. And like almost a little bit like electronic, but it was just perfect. It worked so well for the outro. Yeah. And he had no idea that I recorded this, that I'd used it. So one year I was visiting them, and I sat down with my entire family and I played the EP from start to finish. And the last song comes on, and you know, everyone's kind of feeling a bit emotional already because they're like so proud because they've all known this has like been my lifelong dream to do this. Yeah. And then the part comes up with my dad who starts to talk. And this guy, he doesn't realize it's his own voice until like halfway through. Yeah. And all of my siblings are crying. They're all a mess. Yeah. And eventually my dad, it just clicks, and he's like, just looks at me, and we were just like crying, just staring at each other, just like, yep, this is for you. And like, this is just it's something to honor you with. That's so cool. And his voice is just so soothing, and he has a very soft British accent, and he's just so wise, and he's the most like loyal man. Like every single day of my life, I wake up and he's sitting reading his Bible. And every single morning, he will make my mom a cup of tea and bring it to her in bed. Like every single morning. Yeah. And they've been married for like 35 years. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to honor him through my music somehow. Yeah. And so that was kind of just the little thing of like, this is for you, Dad. This is your voice. And you're going to hopefully bring some peace and inspiration to whoever listens to this. And they won't ever know it's you, but like, I will. And if I miss him, I'll just put that on sometimes. And I just feel connected to him. Very cool. But, yeah, some people think it's just like a sample I got online. And I'm like, no, that's my dad. Yeah. That's John. It's John Wilmore right there.
That's so cool.
So,
that's really cool.
I like sharing that.
I'm assuming too, like there's that little video that kind of plays on repeat on Spotify. That's you kind of giving him a kiss on the cheek there.
Yeah. So that is we all went back to Ohio for my cousin's wedding. And that was actually a lot of the backgrounds of my EP is of where I grew up. Because I hadn't been there in like 12 years. So it was huge. It was really nostalgic and it was really emotional. And my family all went for a walk on Corinth Court Road, Farmdale, Ohio. Yeah. And we just all stood in front of our house and just stared at it. You know, 3 acres of land, cornfields. It was so beautiful. And I think that was the same day that I showed them all the EP. Cool. But I intentionally was asking my sister, like, get these footage. I have this app on my phone that makes everything look really old school. Yeah. And I was just walking my dad arm in arm, and she took that quick little video of us, and I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. Because outro is Wilmore in parentheses, and that's my dad's middle name. Oh. So. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of all snippets of that time. Wow. Yeah. And then I think I got back to Canada, and I had my album release party like a week later or something. It all released. Wow. So. Yeah, family is such a big inspiration too for a lot of the music. Yeah. But yeah.
That's amazing. No, I absolutely love it. Yeah. Wow.
You make me get emotional here.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, my family's not anything like that. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm going to cut that out.
We are far from perfect. Don't worry about it. But it's like, I think there's something to be said. Yeah. I think with my dad, it's like my mom's this like zesty, fierce, incredible, beautiful, blonde, blue eyes. Like she's amazing. And I connect to her in such different ways. But my dad was always the one that was like, we'd go for walks and like geek out about nature and the leaves changing and the snow and look at this icicle. And like, he just helped me have this pair of eyes that just appreciated nature so much. Yeah. And then with music too, it's like we would geek out over that. And so those were like my favorite things. And I think because he bonded with me about that, it's like, it's just stayed right here. And it's like the safe space. Yeah. So, yeah, he's an amazing human. I love him. Very thankful.
Very cool. Wow. Yeah, no, that's powerful. Like, you know, I was just sitting here feeling it and like, yeah, getting all. I'm not all tear. How are you doing, Geordie? I thought I was doing.
I gotta go.
I thought I was on the edge here, but
Geordie, I'm sorry.
no, it's
sorry.
beautiful. It really is.
No, it was beautiful.
It really puts into light too, like one of the ideas. Well, yeah, like the whole idea for this project too is kind of like, you know, we're bringing in artists, you know, that don't have many places to express them or to like showcase themselves, right? And one of the things I realized was once I got to know who someone was, it actually helped me to appreciate the art, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like I already was appreciating your art like before you came here, but now just after talking with you, hearing what your inspirations were, all that stuff, like it. Like when I think back to your songs now, like when I go back and listen to them again, or when I hear you play live here, you know, it's going to be even that much more beautiful and more powerful, right?
Yeah.
Because you really are like a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
And I think that really comes through in your music already. Anyway, thank you so much for being here
Oh,
and
thank
sharing
you.
all that with
This
us.
has been really, really special. Thank you, guys.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry.
You need a story from Geordie, otherwise it wouldn't be the Poets Garden podcast.
It's the best way to end it.
Exactly. Well, I guess, did you want to go in and play a song
Let's
for
do
us?
it.
All right,
yeah,
let's
for
do it.
sure.
Well, everybody check out Oleefia. You can follow her on her Insta, and you can also check out her EP on Spotify, and there's new music coming. Yeah. So, thank you again for being here. We'd love to have you back if you'd like that someday.
Back. Yeah,
all right,
course.
cool.
Just breathe.
Let's end this with some deep breaths. We start with deep breaths. We can end it with some deep breaths.
Here we go.
Take that out, James.
There's.
Hello, my friend. Don't worry, I just follow your footsteps in the dust. I found you with your ear against the earth. Listening closely for any sign of home. Joy filled your eyes when you heard my footsteps approaching. And I said, oh sir, I'm not your God. But I'm here if you need me. To which he replied, ooh. And don't worry, I just followed your footsteps in the dust. And sir, there is a God. He's right here if you need him. And he has been singing
Poets Garden podcast is produced and recorded by me, James Donnelly, at the Poets Garden Studio in Mission, BC. You can subscribe and rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and almost everywhere else. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. To avoid potential legal action, the Poets Garden podcast is not sponsored by the Penny Coffee Shop, yet. So next time you're in Mission, stop by the Penny for a coffee or a gluten-free brownie and say you heard about them on the Poets Garden podcast. Thank you for listening.